You know, I've lived in Edmonds for a long time, 49 years, moved here in 1966. My goodness, hard to believe. Edmonds is kind of a perfect little beautiful place. I think we have a sort of a Lake Wobegon syndrome here. You know, all the men are strong, women are gorgeous, and the children have brilliant set scores. Of course, the truth is that underneath, Edmonds, like all other cities, has issues. And I recently ran across a story of a town who had real issues, and they resolved and are continuing to resolve these issues. I thought, I think this could be an Edmonds kind of an idea. I was down in Central California 3 or 4 weeks ago, meeting with the leaders of 15 California cities who are trying to do collaborative stuff in their cities to change the life, the quality of life in their cities. I heard this one story, which, just to tell you the truth, blew me away. Southeast of Fresno is a little town of 30,000 people called Sanger, California. I just jotted down some of the notes about this town. 73% low income, 71% Latino, 22% of the kids in the schools are studying ESL. They're working in English at least as a second language. Turned out that Sanger, California has become something of a cause celeb in the educational community in California because of the amazing turnaround which they've had in their school system. Let me just read you a paragraph from the beginning of this study by the S.H. Kroll Foundation of San Francisco. They got 2 eminent researchers from Stanford to go down and do a study over a 10-year period of what happened. It said, basically, how do you turn around a poverty-stricken school district from bad to good? Here's the paragraph. In 1999, applicants for positions in the Sanger Unified School District saw a billboard as they drove into town which said, "Welcome to the home of 400 unhappy teachers." The billboard was sponsored by the local teachers union. Now, 10 years later, a teacher active in that same union said, you know, there's not a single principal in Sanger, California that I would not want to work for. Apparently 10 years ago, there were a group of ministers in the town that were meeting, talking, praying, trying to encourage each other and to open up the lines of communication between themselves. They were having a public event in the town square one afternoon. As they were coming to the end of this event, 200 yards from where they were holding this event, a young kid, 19 years old, had his brains blown out. There were over 1,500 kids in that little town involved in gangs at that time. 1 in 5 of all children in the town were involved in some kind of gang. The minister said, this is absolutely impossible, and we are not going to allow this to go on. They called a meeting the next week with the mayor, police chief, superintendent of schools, and that began a journey which has now been a 10-year journey. They call it the Sanger Task Force. They meet every other week for 90 minutes. They have a very simple rule. If you bring a problem to the Sanger Task Force, on the spot, a solution has got to be resolved. They don't set up ongoing meetings or task forces. They, as a group of people in the community, solve the problem. Here are some of the things that have happened there. They now have, in the schools, 20 schools in Sanger, and of these 20 schools, every single one of these schools has a church in the community which has adopted the school. So the churches run, for example, help the schools run after-school programs, parent training programs, immunization programs, sports and music programs. They even have what they now call a Christmas club. They have a 98% high school graduation rate in Sanger, California. One of the most extraordinary things I learned as I talked to these people was that every single high school senior, this year over 300, have an exit interview. And when they do an exit interview with some person of the community, business people, lay people, people from the police department, fire department, they all volunteer to do these exit interviews. The average person does 10 to 15 exit interviews. They have to show up in a suit and a tie and have to actually present a portfolio. What do they do in high school, and what are they going to do as they leave high school? Couldn't this be in Edmonds kind of an idea? I don't know what the needs in Edmonds are. All I know is in my office on Main Street in beautiful downtown Edmonds, there are a group of volunteer women who come together 2 to 3 times every week just to pack food for homeless children in the Edmonds School District. I didn't even know it existed. So I think if we peel back the surface, we could get together and talk. There are an enormous number of things that we could do if we work together.